Biggest improvements from week 1 to week 2, what would you say?
I think guys continue to work at being physical. I mean, understand that the line of scrimmage is where games are going to be won and lost most of the time. And applying technique and having drill transition and making sure that, you know, we're creating the right angles, getting our hats where they need to be, getting pushed at all positions. You know, it's not just the offensive line, it's the perimeter. And I think what's making everybody better is the amount of competition out there. I mean, it is relentless. And the amount of juice and energy is, it's something, I've never seen a level of that type of just excitement. So it's contagious, you know? So everybody's battling, coaches are battling each other. It's been a great camp, it really has.
How do you create that competitiveness when you've got 4 starters back from last year and a 5th who started 2 years
You just can't let them feel comfortable. You can't, no matter what. If they played to a certain standard, well, that standard's got to be higher. You've got to create that standard, make it real clear, be real specific, and you know, kind of live by the whole thing that prior agreements prevent later misunderstandings. Set the table, it's going to be like this is what we must achieve, and in the meantime, place guys in positions where they can challenge those guys, because you're going to need depth, and you're going to need someone to, at some point in time, step in, or some point in time, be better than what's being done. So I think the way it's played out so far has been great. We're going to keep cranking it up.
Is this group big enough and physical enough and strong enough to play the way you guys want to play, or did it start moving to grow?
We're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, I wouldn't trade these guys for anybody. And they've invested a tremendous amount of time in the weight room. So you see the power. You see the hips starting to unlock. You know, you're starting to see that flat back and that lift low to high that really changes things. And when you've got a backfield like we have, you can't be anything but excited to come off the ball and knock some people back, and at the same time protect, you know, get involved in the screen game, whatever it is we're called on to do. But it goes back to the whole thing that the head coach has kind of set a mentality and a philosophy, and everybody's bought into that team betterment, lots of juice, and it's just spilled over to every position. And that's, I think, to me, like the neatest and most exciting thing to see as a coach.
Bert still has his red jersey on. What do you see out of him as a quarterback? Do you see that being a spot that he'll stay for a while? I know he came in.
You know, he's a talented guy. He really is. He's smart. He's played a lot of football, seen a lot of ball, and the type of offense that we run. I mean, freshmen. It's very freshman friendly. Yeah. It's complicated for a defense, but it's very simple for us and our players to learn. So it's a blessing that he's here, and we're glad to have him.
How's George coming along? George Moore.
He's coming along. He's learning.
JC, huge kid. Looks like
he is. He is. He's a big man. He's certainly taken to. He's a young guy too. He's young, and he's young at the game of football. Very new to it. So every single day's a learning experience. He is working his tail off like the other guys. And that's probably the best part about it. The older guys do a great job teaching the young guys. They take them under their wing and they roll.
Do you sense that he's going to be a player for you this year?
I think all those guys right now, I'd hate to say one or the other, I think there's 10, 11 guys that are going to have a chance to play, and I think there's a good number pushing for starting jobs, and we're going to continue. You're going to see different rotations working themselves in and out, good and bad case scenarios, injury scenarios. We're going to set them up, and we're going to put them in difficult situations. We're going to go against outnumbered boxes. We're going to go against loaded fronts. We want to test. You know, we want to see what we can do in the most adverse situations.
Still get 29 practices, but there's more days to use them.
Is that it? I was hoping for 49. Is that a new rule or something?
How does that help you, though?
Man. What happened to the days of 2-a-days and 3-a-days, man? I'm going to go coach Jimmy Johnson, my old ball coach, and let him know there's no more 2-a-days. My Lord.
How's the extra days, though, of time with the team being able to help this group? You know, not more practices, but more time around them.
Well, you've got time to teach. I mean, meetings and walkthrough are invaluable, especially with a young crew. Especially, I mean, we've only been here since January. We've had one spring practice, and in the summer you really can't touch the players. So everyone's still learning. Everyone's still learning. To me, the most impressive part is the amount of energy, the enthusiasm, their approach. I mean, these guys they're hungry. It shows. You can't fake that part, right? You got to come out day after day in pads. You really can't. You can't head fake that. It's got to be real, and it's shown up. So we better make sure it shows up today.
Those redshirt freshmen weren't intimidated last year. I mean, they were young, but they played pretty well last year.
They don't need to be. I mean, nowadays in college football, if you're a freshman, if guys are capable physically, you can get them ready to play. You know, and that's been our history as a coaching staff. My history as an offensive line coach. Freshmen are play. Freshmen play. As long as they're capable, willing, and they do exactly what they need to do, they can play. So,
last couple of days, Royce Freeman's been out there with you guys warming up, taking blocking. Is that him extending an olive branch to your guys to please block me better? What's that about?
If he could snap the ball, he'd be an olive branch. We'd have another center, you know, fourth guy in there. But the guy, he's a team guy. And the best part about him, he understands what's going on up front. He understands how defensive structures and pressure affect blocking schemes, so he knows where to push the ball, how to push it, when to put a foot in the ground and come back. He's got natural vision, and then he's got power. So when he puts a foot in the ground, he gets vertical. You know, it's pretty dangerous. So if the most important part is making sure there's no penetration, control line of scrimmage, let him put a foot in the ground and get vertical, and let's go to work.
You talked about you like another center. Doug obviously wasn't out there yesterday. Is that a short-term thing, or you expecting him to be out longer?
Oh, I think he's fine. I think he's fine. The trainers handle the injury stuff. We don't handle all that stuff. I'll get my diploma in that, next time around. I don't know when.